Hey, welcome to Ask the DNR right here on WCMU Public Television. Tonight, we ask your outdoor questions to our panel of DNR experts. And if you call the number at the bottom of the screen, we will try and get your question answered tonight. We're on for an hour. Please join us. Okay, we are back. Let's introduce our panel of experts right here. Chad Stewart, of course, big game biologist. I think that's a fair roundup of what you do for the state of Michigan. Really glad to have you here. I know you didn't think in the springtime we'd have that many wildlife questions, but we certainly did last time. And we were glad to have you here. And then, of course, the dean, the patriarch, the head of this whole outfit right here, Mark Tonello, fisheries biologist out of Cadillac. A lot of questions for you tonight coming in. And I'm sure, Joe, as a lieutenant up in the northwest part of the state, that you're going to have lots and lots of law questions tonight. Let me also introduce the folks that are taking these questions, answering the phones. And we have Dave Haupt, of course, and Dave Haupt is always organizing help to come and answer questions, and we greatly appreciate it. Also, kind of a big kahuna too in the Wardens program, and it's just great to have you here. And then right in the middle is Anastasia. Anastasia works the front desk at the Cadillac office. So if you have questions, call Anastasia. She really knows a lot of the answers too. In fact, she probably could be sitting here doing this show tonight. Thank you so much, Anastasia. And of course, the person on the far right is my squeeze. That is my wife, Beth, and she comes down and volunteers too. And we really appreciate it. Beth, good luck. Anastasia, Dave, thank you. Okay, let's get started with the first question. And I think we always start off with the steelhead run. How's that going?
Well, yeah, we've got a couple egg takes going on right now. So you mentioned steelhead. So in terms of fishing, if you're wanting to steelhead fish, we've got a ton of water in our rivers right now. We've gotten a ton of rain lately, and the rivers are up, and of course that brings the fish. So this next week or two is going to be the peak of the steelhead run. And so if you're looking to catch steelhead, watch when those streams start dropping. That's when you're going to want to get out there and start fishing for them. As far as egg take goes, at the Little Manistee Weir, we have not started yet. We turned on the pumps. We do have the ponds full. We have some fish in the ponds. They're not ripe yet. We'll be looking on Monday, and we may do an egg take on Tuesday if the fish are ripe enough. My gut tells me they won't be, and we might have to wait till the following week or at least later in the week. But again, Mother Nature is the one that decides that.
And tell us about the Muskegon River.
Yeah,
There's some incredible news there.
Yeah,
isn't there?
So walleye egg take has been ongoing there since last week. They've got 3 days in. We're still waiting for final hatchery numbers. We may need to do one more day of egg take, and that would be next Tuesday. Today went very well. In fact, they had the biggest fish we've had in a while. They had a 15.2 pound female that they took eggs from today. So that's,
I saw a picture from like a week or so ago. And
that one was 14. This
that
one was even
14
bigger.
pounds. Yep. 15 pounds?
Yep.
Holy
and they tell
Jerusalem.
me, the crew told me that they saw a lot more steelhead in the river today than they did even on Tuesday. So the steelhead are showing up in the Muskegon too.
Yeah, so you got to wait for the water to go down probably.
The water is high right now, so if you're waiting, be cautious.
Manatee's at flood stage.
Yep, Manistee is pretty high as well. We haven't seen water this high in a few years, so if you're waiting, be cautious. But it will definitely bring the fish.
Okay, and tell us about the new E-tag, Chad, for turkeys.
Yeah, really neat development. Started off last year with fall turkey season as like our pilot.
Yeah.
Most people are familiar with once you harvest an animal, whether it's a turkey or a deer,
yeah, you got to call
you put your tag on it,
yeah.
right? Now, this year for turkeys, which includes spring and will be for the fall again as well. If you have the Hunt Fish app on your phone, and that's the kicker, right? You have to have it through the app. You can what we call e-tag or e-validate your harvest through there. So you do not have to put the tag on the animal. You validate it through the app, and then if an officer you encounter in the field like Joe comes up, they can look into your phone, see that it's validated there, and you're good to go.
Now, there are a few other things to add to that. So again, it's only going to be the people that buy their spring turkey license through the Hunt Fish app. So even if you go online and you're doing it from your home computer and you buy it then, you're still going to get mailed that tag, and you still have to have that tag. It's only for the people that are purchasing their license through the app. And once they harvest that bird, again, you're going to do that e-tagging on your phone, but then on a durable material, so something that's not just regular paper, so something maybe like duct tape or a heavy-duty cardboard type tag. You're going to wrap that around their leg with a piece of twine or a zip tie, and on that durable material, you have to write your license number, the date of harvest, and also when you validate it, you're going to get a confirmation number, and then you're going to have to write that confirmation.
So if you're stuck and you want to buy a turkey permit like right now, during the season, and you don't have to wait for the stores to open or anything like that, you can do that on your app.
Yep. So if last minute Bob calls me up and says, "Hey, I got birds on the farm, get over here," wakes me up at 5 in the morning, I can run over there. On my way, I can buy that license, and then when shooting hours open up, I'll have my tag on my phone, and we could be ready to harvest a bird.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's the real advantage because you don't have to wait for it to go through the mail. You don't have to wait for a vendor to open up or to sell it. It's the convenience is incredible. So it's a new thing. Hopefully people gravitate toward it, and we'll see how it goes.
Initially nobody's gonna like it, except people that use it, and then pretty soon the word gets out that, hey, this is a pretty simple system. So anyway, we had a call a little earlier from down near Middleton, and the person wanted to know, to have some discussion over how you can get in and out of rivers, for steelhead fishermen, and the legalities of all of that. So I know we don't typically do discussions on that, but is there anything can you just you can't enter on private property without permission?
Correct. So when you're accessing a river, so again, the county road has a 33-foot easement from the center of the road out, and that's to maintain the road. In most instances, at least here in northern Michigan, it does not allow for the additional use of those lands for other reasons. Now again, this is, speaking in generalities, 90–95% of the time. So again, if it's private property on all four sides of a road crossing, you'd have to have permission from one of those landowners, or again, if there's public land, then you can access the river that way.
Right, but there again, just like a few years ago, we had there are a number of people that they pick wild asparagus along the roadsides, and if they're on private land, they can't do that.
Nope.
The road right-of-way does not allow that.
Yep, the road right-of-way does not allow for any additional uses, whether it be harvesting wild asparagus, mushrooms. People don't have the right to hunt or trap within those right-of-ways either.
The right-of-ways are for roads.
Yep.
And
I'll add one thing to that, Bob, and that is that if you're looking to trout fish a stream and access is not super easy, man, don't be afraid to knock doors. I feel like that's kind of a lost art in today's society of, just talking to people. And I think if you, if you're polite and, maybe you offer, the person, hey, I'll get you, a 6-pack or whatever, if you let me access your, I think you'll find that people will allow you to, and obviously you're going to pick up your litter and treat their property with respect. But I think asking permission is kind of a lost art in today's society. But I think that's a good way of doing it.
And people need to remember too that if they grant permission and they have somebody out there fishing, they're less likely to have somebody poaching.
That's a good point.
And also with hunting, if you've got somebody who's steadfastly out there and enjoying the fruits of your property, they're very good about reporting and keeping other people out of there too. So it's a good thing. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely. I'm glad you made that point. Anything coming up on coyotes too? With because the commission changed a few things and. Last year.
Yeah, last year our commission closed coyote season during the summer. It was previously open for the entirety of the year. And they are currently revisiting that decision this year. So our commission always meets the second Thursday of the month. So they'll be meeting in a week down in Lansing, and actually we'll be deciding on that regulation at that time, and whether or not to restore year-round coyote hunting or to keep it as that 9-month season, which they passed last year.
Okay, Black Lake, and this is we don't have a forester here, but why is a forestry using glyphosate after clear cut instead of non-carcinogen? The only place I recall that it's ever been determined that glyphosate is a carcinogen is by a jury. And not any agency or anything else has ever found those same results. So, you know, I don't think maybe they have a warning label on them. I have no idea. But Detroit River walleye regs, can I bring home a 3-day limit? Boy, this one will be right up your alley there, Joe and Mark.
So, I mean, ultimately, again, you're allowed a 3-day limit. It's got to be harvested on those previous days. The fish have to be frozen, smoked, cured in some manner. So again, if we went for a long weekend, started fishing on Friday, we could catch our limit on Friday, then go back out on Saturday, catch a limit, and Sunday catch a limit. But again, on those Friday and Saturday limits, they have to be filleted, frozen, cured in some manner for traveling home. If you get contacted and you have, 3 days limit and they're all in the round, then that's going to be an issue.
Yeah, and people, this has been a question for like forever too.
Yep.
That people, how many limits can I keep? Well, the short answer was just a few years ago was 1, and then they started allowing you to process and that sort of stuff. So it's a lot more liberal today than it was just a few years, maybe 5 years ago, 6 years ago,
Yeah,
even longer.
I think
than
a little longer than that.
Well.
Yeah, but as our age gets on, right, it's like, oh, it was just last year, and then you start doing the math.
What is that?
Well, it was, for Bob 50 years ago. Or...
Yeah, essentially, yeah. That was when I first went into conservation work was 50 years ago. So, anyway, here's a good one. I'm sorry I can't get you in on this one because these guys are going to enjoy that. Well, why from Honor? People want to know, well, why aren't smelt planted to help the brown trout population?
Well, that's a good question. It's the same reason why we wouldn't be able to plant alewives, because to be able to plant something like Lake Michigan on the scale that we would need to raise would be incredibly expensive, and it just flat out isn't doable. We can't raise enough smelt or alewives to make a dent in the we got to rely on what Mother Nature provides for forage in Lake Michigan, and smelt are part of that. And smelt actually have been doing better in the last 6-8 years, and very quietly we're hearing about some decent smelt dipping opportunities. So if you're in Honor, if you're in Benzie County, if you go look at some of the places that they used to smelt dip, I think you might find some if you're there on the right day.
And the funny thing about the smelt, brown trout, and alewives, all of them, they're all invasive species.
The not invasive species.
No, okay.
They're introduced species.
Introduced species.
Yep.
Okay.
And so one thing to note on smelt, because we've got this coming up, and in my neck of the woods we generally have a problem with, is that, remember, if you're going to hand net smelt, you have to be within a half mile on a tributary to the Great Lakes. So some of our lakes around Traverse City, we have smelt populations in those, but they're inland waters and they're running in inland waters. You can't hand net out of those. We get complaints on that every year. You could still hook and line them like we do in the wintertime and you can do in the summer, but hand netting smelt on inland
Good
waters
point,
is not legal.
That's right. Great point. And also, you have some fantastic ice fishing opportunities for smelt
Yep.
up north
Higgins
too.
Lake, Crystal Lake, Green Lake.
Hey, before we go on, I didn't expect anywhere near the amount of questions because what has happened weather-wise in 10 counties in the northern part of the lower has just been terribly stressful for folks that live up there. And if you're watching from up there, thank you. Thank you for doing that. You've obviously got your generator running, or you're one of those few that has power. But it's been an awful, well, in fact, it's affected even fish plantings.
Yeah, we're avoiding those areas for fish stocking because we don't want to be in the way, and we're not sure our trucks can get through. There's no hotels available for our drivers, so yeah, we're holding off on some fish stocking, and the hatcheries are trying to get things stocked in other parts of the state at the moment. Hopefully by next week the situation will look a lot better if it warms up a little bit here, but yeah, no, it's a big deal, and we're just everybody up in that area, we're keeping you in our thoughts.
Okay. Any additional sightings of cougar cubs other than those that you know of?
No, I believe that one time was the only time that those two were identified. I don't think that they've been seen of or heard from again, which is not that surprising. They're pretty reclusive animals to begin with, but just the fact that they were able to be seen and confirmed is such a major news story up there. So
it is.
But no, nothing has been heard of since then, good or bad. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks. Hey, another question for you. How do we apply for block permits to shoot some more deer?
Yeah, so we've kind of changed our terminology. Block permits is kind of an older term, but
Yeah.
they're referring to what we call our deer damage permits or our out-of-season permits. Just contact your local office if you can get in touch with your local biologist. There's really no application. It's really a contact with your local representative there, your DNR representative for Wildlife Division. They will talk with you about it. They might go to make a site visit depending on where you're at, especially if you're a new applicant, just to confirm the damage. And we're pretty generally loose with giving those permits out. So, but start with your local DNR office and find
But
your
you've got to
local.
be confirmed you have the damage too.
Typically, they do a confirmation on that first contact. Once that history of damage is established, most staff do not go out and revisit that because they know that there's a history occurring there.
Okay, and this comes in from Beulah. Mark, right up your alley. Results of the survey on the Platte River on walleye that was done last spring. Do you have any idea how that came in?
No, I don't. I think they did it did a survey last fall.
Yeah. Okay.
And they've definitely found some walleye in there, but I don't know. I have not seen a report.
You don't have an update on it.
I don't, unfortunately.
Yeah.
That's Heather's turf up there.
Yeah.
I try to pay attention, but no, I guess I don't know. What the story is. I know that the issue is that some folks want us to stock walleye into Platte Lake. There are some walleye in there, regardless of whether we stock or not. There's some natural reproduction. Maybe not as many as some folks would like for fishing.
Sure.
Our concern is that those walleye prey on the coho salmon that we stock in the Platte River, and then also maybe the steelhead as well. So there might be some give and take there, but I don't know what Heather's planning there.
And I don't know who anybody would call, but maybe Joe, you would. Crow Island. I had to look at this twice. Almost put my glasses on. Water is so low. Who's responsible for fixing the pumps there? So you probably call the Bay City office.
Yeah, so I mean, whether or not, I guess I'm not familiar with that body of water. So again, if you need to have any of these questions answered, if we're a little bit too talkative and verbose and loquacious as we're trying to get through all of our answers, and you don't have these specific questions, or your answer doesn't get your question doesn't get answered, excuse me. If you look at a hunting guide, it breaks down the state into different quadrants, into our different districts. If you call one of our customer service centers in the region that you're calling from, they can get those answers for you.
Okay. Yeah, it's really kind of neat if you're close to a DNR office, a major office, where you can get in and get to know some of the folks and stuff like that. You know, there's no hidden agenda or hidden anything here that people won't be willing to share. You guys like what you're doing, I would say, right?
Not only that, we like to talk to real people sometimes. So if you come in and actually talk to us, it gets us away from our computer screens for a minute or two. So we always like talking to folks when they come
Yeah,
into the office.
Joe's always been that way, and I don't run into Chad much along the way, but Tanello, oh yeah, yeah. And what he doesn't know, you probably don't need to know. So, some legislators introduced a feeding baiting permit legislation. Is that going anywhere yet? We know of yet?
It's still, as far as I know, in the introduced stage. You know, that's a completely separate lane when we start talking about legislative bills and what that takes to get passed, obviously going through both houses and the governor's signature. It's still very early. I don't know where that will ultimately go.
Well, and nobody does with any introduced bill, having worked in the legislature for many, many years. And this is from St. Charles. But I wonder if anybody remembers back in 1996 when they tried to take hunting away from us, and we passed Proposal G. Tried to take bear hunting at that time, but the rest of it was right around the corner. Mm-hmm. Proposal G, which said you're going to leave this up to a Natural Resources Commission and take the politics, and that's the way we sold it. Those of us who tramped all over the state of Michigan and sportsmen's clubs and public forums and all that sort of stuff, and if you think that maybe that wasn't a wise idea, that passed in every single county of all 83 counties in the state of Michigan, and it passed by wide margins. People want to take the politics out of the stuff, but yet certain politicians would just as soon add it back in, and that's just the way it goes. And then the big controversy, does only during the youth hunt. That's the way the commission went. You know, we've got a new commissioner in town too coming in.
Well, we've got several new commissioners since that last decision was made, but yeah, there was one just announced, one very familiar face.
Probably the finest biologist administrator that I have ever known, Becky Humphreys.
High praise, yes.
There's no question about it. Plus, head of the National Wild Turkey Federation, the big defending group in Washington, D.C. She filled in 9 months there when they needed some. Now, this is probably the best news and the biggest news for me since sliced bread that she's going on the commission.
She's a wonderful mind, yes, and I think the commission will be greatly strengthened with her presence. Getting back to your question, last year our Natural Resource Commission passed a regulation that the Liberty Hunt, which is also called the Youth Hunt for lack of a better term, and our Independence Hunt, which is the 4-day season in October where only hunters with a qualifying disability can participate. Yeah. Anyone eligible to hunt in either one of those seasons would this year be required to take an antlerless deer only. Obviously, previously and historically, they've been either sex. So this year, again, before the commission, we're bringing our deer regulations before them next week, and our recommendation from the department side is to revert back to the either sex side, and then we'll see how the commission votes on that. So certainly, if that's a matter that's near and dear to your heart, you can certainly contact the commission and express your thoughts on that.
Yep, good. Okay, we got that. Oh, we did get this question. We were wondering whether earlier, while we were here getting things lined up and getting our audio systems going, the new goose roundup regulations from Bay City. They're asking. I wonder why Bay City, good waterfall place, you know.
Yeah, this is one that's very front and center right now with the news, and obviously what it was is a recent announcement that our waterfowl program is no longer doing goose roundup. So what goose roundup is right. large numbers of geese that start to become a nuisance, particularly in urban areas. What they have done in the past is during their molt, when they are flightless, they would collect them all, drive them to usually a game area.
Let's explain molt. They lose their feathers.
They go through the transit, yes, they start transitioning through there, and they are flightless at that time.
Yeah.
So they are obviously easy to capture. They corral into a pen, and then we round them up, move them to usually a state game area, and let them go there. What our staff has found is that that's really a temporary fix. So a lot of times there's such a homing, like a strong homing sense, instinct in geese. A lot of times they return. Many of them
As soon as they can fly.
as soon as they can fly and they get back to this. And with what we have going on right now with birds across the state, across the country, with what's called highly pathogenic avian influenza, our staff has realized that you should not be moving animals around because there are so many, especially those congregating birds, that have that disease, and we do not want them moving around to different watersheds. So our staff is recommending and moving forward with this concept of euthanizing nuisance or animals where they are.
Well, you can't give them away anyway.
No, and they are exploring ways to donate them, but there's a lot of hoops to run through with processors and whatnot, and finding individuals who are qualified to do that. So, important point. This is not coming from any game and fish dollars. So, if this activity does occur, the community who is doing this will be paying for all of the efforts. There are certain requirements that are going to be needed to be done. They have to be involved in a specific management program, whether it's some type of scare tactics or they have to do some nest and egg destruction. There have to be certain amount of geese available. They just aren't going to be doing this everywhere, or they have to have some sort of demonstrated like E. coli effect occurring. So. Our waterfowl program has already maximized, the allowance for days to hunt and the number of geese to be taken per hunter that's allowed by our flyway. So
I remember back in that 50 years ago business you guys are giving me. I remember when it was a 1 bird a day limit, and even at the Horicon Marsh, it was 1 bird. Horicon Marsh, which is noted goose stuff, it was 1 per season, and those are the days I remember. To where now they're like carp, I mean,
there's a lot
carp
of
of
them.
the sky, yeah.
Yeah,
But I love hunting geese.
Yeah, I heard from our waterfowl biologists, we try to be between 175 and 225,000 geese in the state, and we're estimated to be around 275, 280,000. So we have a lot of geese in the state.
We have a lot of geese and a lot of opportunities.
Yes,
so.
yes.
Yeah. How about folks from Mansalona would like to know bluegill spawning. Mark, do they spawn before or after the bass? And do they spawn more than once?
They spawn after the bass. The bass spawn first. And yes, if the summer is warm enough, yes, absolutely. Bluegills
Seriously?
can spawn 2, and I think down south they can spawn even 3 times. So yeah, yep. Very good question.
Okay, when will license fees go up? This is from Jackson, but that won't happen until that has to pass through the legislature.
Correct.
DNR can't set the fees.
Yeah.
Never could.
I know Fisheries Division in particular. We are desperately in need of better funding. We have not had a fee increase since 2014. We're one of the cheapest licenses in the Great Lakes area, despite having a lot more water than other states and a lot more opportunity than other states that charge more. So, we're hurting. And I'll tell you right now, I cover an area that's way too big, and I don't do the area that I cover the justice that I would like to do, because I'm covering an area that should be covered by.
And you're saying that in all
biologists.
sincerity, because I
Absolutely.
know you.
Yeah.
And you
Yep.
give 150% all the time.
And I don't like being, well, I can't use the term I would normally use, but I don't like doing it halfway, right? I like doing a good job.
I think I know which part of the
yeah.
posterior you were going to mention. So, and I agree. Hey, from Grayling, Joe, I don't know anybody's got an answer to this one, but help clearing trails from the ice storm. Can the public help in any way?
So as far as right now, and again with the ice storm, we're going to have trails that may be shut down for parts of the season. As far as the public getting out there, and again, right now, please don't be going out and about and trying to move logs and trees. There's still down power lines everywhere. Don't know if they've been energized. So, please hold off. If you are interested in potentially helping, what I would suggest is to reach out to the customer service centers, ask to speak to the recreational trail specialist that's covering that region. And they might be able to put you in touch with an ORV group or a snowmobile club that helps maintain our trail systems. And I'm sure that these organizations are going to be putting together some work days to help push forward their recreation sport. And those would be the best mechanisms to get a hold of, or agencies to get a hold of, to be able to help out with that job.
Hubbard Lake, any chance of some more walleyes being planted?
That's Tim Swolinski territory.
Oh yeah, I know Tim. Good guy.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you on that one. I'm not familiar with that lake.
Okay,
But I will say I will plug Tim. Tim's a pretty good biologist, and if he's not stocking it, it's because they're reproducing quite well. So.
Okay, let's move over to Chad for just a second here. And I think I understand this question well. It doesn't have a town or anything where it's coming from. It's got 20 points for an elk drawing, and how are others getting it on 1 or 2? Well, it's pretty easy really to explain that.
Yeah, so for one is the demand for elk, right? I mean, we have over 40,000 individuals apply for an elk license every year. And even if you have 20 points, 18 points, whatever it is, the way that we have our drawings set up is that those are 20 chances. So think about like you putting 20 chances in a fishbowl where someone else has 1. Yes, you have more of a chance to get drawn, but everybody has a chance to get drawn because of it. And if we only started drawing individuals who had 20 points, 19 points, if we ran it like bear, where you actually get preference points and the highest ones get drawn, the people who would start applying afterward would never in their life have an opportunity to get drawn, and we wouldn't even be able to draw all the people that have 20 points, 19 points.
I think at one point in time when we set that up through the Natural Resources Commission when I was a commissioner, and we learned that those people that got permits would have to be of an average age of like 75 years old to draw a permit.
Yeah.
Because no one else would have a chance. So a 14-year-old or an 18-year-old or a 25-year-old starting to absolutely has no chance. The other way you can increase your chances if you're willing to take a cow, because there are far more antlerless permits given out than there are bull permits. So if you want to be choosy, and you're welcome to make that choice.
Yeah.
But if you want to be choosy and take a bull only, then your odds are much longer.
The way I try to communicate it to people is like you're buying a lottery ticket. Nobody ever expects to be drawn for the lottery and win, despite how many tickets you've purchased. Yet if you do get called, it's a great feeling, right? So it's just you have more chances into the pot, but with 40,000 people applying, there's a lot of chances in there for a very small number of individuals that are drawn.
Joe's dad applied for 20 some years and was shocked when he drew. I don't think he even applied just for bull only.
No, he applied for an any elk tag.
Any elk tag,
was
a certain percentage or bull only.
To be drawn for a bull 2 years ago now.
Actually, I said that wrong. not bull only. It's for any elk.
Yeah, any elk.
Which leads you to get, and he got a great bull last year.
Just a beautiful animal, and it was a great opportunity to go hunt an area that I worked for right around 15 years, and had a great experience. It was definitely different being on the other side of the hunt, but one of those lasting memories I'll always have.
How was the elk?
Delicious.
Yeah. And if somebody gets a nice bull, they're quite willing, if you're going to help them, to part with a few choice. Yeah. Children's Creek. I guess this is from the Wynn area. I don't know where Children's Creek is. Used to stock it with brook trout. Do they still stock local streams with brook trout?
We do not stock any streams in the lower peninsula with brook trout. I think we do still stock a few lakes up in the Gaylord-ish area. We don't stock any brook trout lakes down in my area, maybe tip of the mitt, but streams, we only stock brook trout in the UP.
Okay, and turkeys, unlimited turkey hunting in the fall, why don't they allow 2 in the spring?
Yeah, I know that's something that is continually being looked at, and what he's referring to is the proposal for some of the changes in our fall turkey season that's going before our commission again next week. So next week is a busy week for the commissioners, where you're just taking over-the-counter fall turkey permits for the lower peninsula. Is going to be proposed going from 11 units down to 2 units. So that's a big change for the fall. That's being proposed to the commission, but it's being continually evaluated by our turkey specialist on that topic.
Who is the turkey specialist?
It's Adam Bump.
Oh,
is our turkey specialist right now. The main reason I think they're looking at this is the spring season has so much more participation and impact on the turkey population than what you see in the fall.
It's the gobbling.
There's very little participation in the fall. Spring is when everybody goes out, and we want to make sure that we have a healthy and robust turkey population to make sure that that's sustained over time. And
Chad, this question, if I don't tell you where it's from, would knock you right out of your chair. Deer numbers are drastically down. Are there considerations for regulation changes specific to the UP?
Yeah, so we definitely know that there are places in the Upper Peninsula with very low deer numbers. This past year should have been a lot better because last winter, if you recall, was very mild up there. So we actually saw a slight tick up in our harvest, and we have seen that pattern occur year in and year out. When you have mild winters in the UP, the following fall tends to have a lot more deer in the landscape. We are really struggling with our deer herd in parts of the Upper Peninsula. A lot of it is habitat based, Bob, and we've got a lot of issues up there. I know predators are always part of the conversation up there, but we also need to really factor in our habitat, because that is what keeps our deer healthy and in good condition.
Especially wintering habitat.
Yes, exactly. And when those severe winters come through, we want to make sure that winter habitat is primed to sustain them for long periods of time. And right now, we don't have that. So I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but we were probably looking at an extended period of very low deer populations throughout some of those high snowfall ranges.
Yeah. Well, and that shouldn't surprise anybody. We call it the water, or the Lake Superior watershed.
Yeah.
But it's the Lake Superior wintershed that I always referred to it as. So, yeah, okay. Newaygo White Cloud. Can you pick asparagus from a ditch? Didn't we handled this earlier?
We just talked about that. So again, if it's on a ditch on state land or federal land, well, check with the feds to make sure. But on the state land, it can be harvested. But again, if it's private property, that is the property of the owner. No different if they're growing flowers out front.
Can't stop and pick their flowers.
You can't stop and pick their flowers.
Can't pick mushrooms, can't
chop down their trees or collect wood for firewood on the private property.
But again,
you could ask permission.
And again, as Mark says, be nice about it, ask permission.
I bet if you ask nicely, they'll say yes.
It's worked for me many times. Sometimes it hasn't, and there are jokes about that, by the way. But anyway, Big Rapids wants to know, how often do you do lake surveys? As often as you can, I would imagine.
Yeah, the problem is that in this day and age of so few fisheries biologists, like I was referring to a minute ago, and fisheries technicians, we're at a point where it is many, many years now between fishery surveys on inland lakes. When I first started 25 years ago, we targeted 6 years, especially managed lakes. If we're stocking trout or walleye, we want to be in there at least once every 6 years. And now it's more like we're pushing 20, 30, 50 years in between surveys. And so obviously for a biologist like myself that wants to know what's going on, you know, are these fish that I'm stocking, are they surviving? You know, how are the other fish looking? You know, how does the overall fish population looking? How are the bluegills growing? For me not to be able to get in there and survey lakes that are heavily fished, boy, it does. It drives me nuts. It's very frustrating.
Oh, okay.
Good question, though.
To lawns. We don't get many lawn questions here, but from Cedar. Good place, great place. Been a lot of time there. Lawn has huge patches of holes, and he's had skunks in the past, but these are even bigger. What can be dug in those? Any?
Well, you know, so again, if you've got grubs on your property, you're going to have different types of animals go in there. I mean, could be anything from, again, skunks is usually the main culprit. We just actually dealt with a gentleman who had called into our Traverse City office, and our biologist up there went and talked with him. He was actually had an orchard setting, and we figured that it was actually probably a badger that was really tearing up the areas, digging some really big holes in and around. You know, again, depending on what size of the holes are, you know, it could be a multitude of different critters, but again, it could be even a badger.
Yeah. Indian River the fisheries looking at having a lotto system for sturgeon. I don't know why they would though, because there's like 400 people that show up based on not much chance and enjoy themselves.
Yeah, I have not heard talk of that.
Okay, yeah, before when it was 20, 25, if you had cloudy or the water was cloudy and stuff, sometimes they didn't even they'd have 25 fishermen a day for a week and not even get 5 fish or 6 fish. So anyway, can property owners put up a fence to reroute deer? Now this was a big controversy while I was on the Natural Resources Commission.
Yeah, and I might have to lean on Joe for some of this stuff because some of the fencing stuff is in.
So there are various fencing laws that are in place to allow for movement of deer. And again, this is a section that I myself don't necessarily have fully ingrained in my head. But if there is, I want to say it comes down to like about a quarter mile continuous fence that you have to, at a minimum, if nothing else, have breaks in the fence where it dips down to a 4-foot level, I think. And again, if it's like 50 or 75 feet, that you have to have those breaks so that way there can be deer corridors. You can't just completely throw a 10-foot fence, you know, the entire length of your property with the intention to try to, you know, block someone out. So there are different rules and regulations, and if you want to talk more about that, again, contact your local customer service center and ask to speak to the lieutenant. We can discuss those issues at greater length. Great question. That's a first time.
That's a good one. And I think scale is important when we're talking about
exactly. And I remember exactly the quarter mile plus. There seemed to be wildlife biologists would note that you did that unless you have these breaks or some scoot underneath, it would be very easy for coyotes to pin down deer and all of that. But there was a major hunt club up north that said they wanted to secure themselves from disease, and so they were going to put up miles and miles of high fence. Without a high fence, you know, without permits and stuff like that, and that's what engendered all of that.
Yep. And so the other thing is, if you're looking to do those kind of things, it's also going to inhibit other wildlife too. You know, you put up those tall fences. I mean, grouse and rabbits, and I mean, again, if you have that fence, guess what? Everything's going to start burrowing under north that are burrowing critters. So. So again, if you do have questions, give us a shout.
Yeah. and there's some give and take in all of that too. Can you turtle trap, Joe, on a lake that's closed to fishing? Crawford County, Wakely Lake.
So I guess I don't know the specifics on the closure. That's just outside of my area.
Wakely Lake is a no harvest lake.
Okay.
It's entirely on federal land here on National Forest.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. I know where that is. Yeah.
And so it's a opportunity to grow trophy fish because it's an entirely catch and release fishery.
Gotcha.
So could you take a turtle in there? Depends on what the feds.
Again, this isn't my area, but I don't know. From my knowledge, the restriction does only addresses fish.
Yep.
Not turtles.
And so that'd be another great opportunity to contact our Roscommon District Office. They're the law enforcement division that covers Crawford.
I know that, but we don't have any fisheries people in Roscommon.
Okay, but or
Gaylord.
again, a conservation officer or Gaylord, they can look at what that specific order reads. And again, so this is where it's going to get into the nuances of exactly how it was written. If it's specific to fish, then it may. But if it's but again, turtles are covered under the fishing license, so it may be covered in that as well. But give a call to either the Gaylord office there, and they should be able to get you an answer.
Boy, I wish we could give this person an answer because that's a cool question.
Yep.
And people that trap turtles are pretty neat folks, as long as they're doing it legally. And DNR doesn't make recommendations that your sinkers and stuff have to be lead-free, right?
No.
Okay, they don't. That was a call from Cadillac. And here's an interesting one. I don't know whether all of you could get in on this or not, but large ships coming into the Great Lakes. Folks from Prudenville, not on the Great Lakes here, but
Houghton Lake country.
Houghton Lake.
Our biggest inland lake.
The biggest inland lake in the state of Michigan, yeah. Can water from ballast tanks be electrified before it's dumped to kill off invasive species? There's several things you can do, right?
Yeah, there's a number of different ways that you can do it. There's chemicals you can put in there. There's definitely ways of treating ballast water. It just comes down to mandating it and then enforcing it. And that's always been difficult.
Here's one from Baldwin. This is a good one, Chad. How can I keep bears from getting in my trash?
That is a good one, and it's very timely for this time of year, right? As they start to emerge.
Kind of consider them like big raccoons, right?
Yeah. So really, it's really trying to get. Those bear-proof containers, right? They're going to be continued to attract to any type of food source. So whether it's in the garbage can, bird feeders. A lot of people don't think about this, but they're grills, that have grease all over it. That's an attractant as well. It's really a matter of exclusion, and whether you get an actual bear-proof garbage can or some sort of container that prevents them from actually accessing the trash can. And you guys live in bear country more than I do, so you guys probably have some experience with this as well.
So
There's
about
some simple things you can do.
Yep. Again, don't put out bird feeders, and I know that pains a lot of folks because they love to watch their birds. But even if I've talked to people that say, "Oh, we'll just take them in at night." Well, there's still the bird seed that falls down onto the ground, and the bear will, if there's a food source, they're going to keep coming back to it. Garbage, putting it out the morning of pickup versus putting it out the night before, because then you're just prolonging the amount of time that the bear have access to come on by.
I watched a crow today in the city of Cadillac, across from my mother's house, my brother's place. I watched the city. The guy did not shut the top of his garbage can, and that crow sat there and picked stuff out, and in this wind picked out plastic that went flying, picked out, and just as soon as that crow moved, another crow came in from the other side and picked through the garbage. Well, geez, it created a mess because the guy just closed the lid on it. So putting stuff out in the morning seems to be a better plan. Here's here's now let me go to another question. Reducing the number of fishing guides on the water, especially on the rivers. Folks from Midland want to know if that's possible. I don't know, not that the guides cause a problem, I know.
I mean, it certainly would be possible. I think it would probably have to be something from the legislature. We're not actively, the only river in the state that we limit our the land use permits that we issue for people to use our access sites is the Pere Marquette River. Because we, along with the U.S. Forest Service, have basically made the decision that that river is saturated with guides. There are certainly a lot of fishing guides out there, a lot of river guides. You know, we did pass legislation just recently, the last year or two, with restrictions that they, you know, there's a little more fees now. They have to, you know, they have to have a doctor's note that they're physically able to do the job. I think they have to take first aid and CPR.
Yep, they
now.
have to have first aid. They have to have a first aid kit with them. And again, the license fee that for the folks that are applying, I believe, is only about $25, $30. It's something very inexpensive. They have reporting requirements.
Yeah.
So the legislature, again, as Mark said, last year, it wasn't us, it was the legislature, put forth this requirement that all hunting guides and all fishing guides that are operating on public lands be required to have this guide license. And again, part of the report, they have a reporting requirement that hopefully with good data might be able to help give us a better idea on the number of fish being harvested.
Mark, status of the underwater electric device to keep the Asian carp out.
So that would be on the I think that's the Des Plaines River in the
Right.
south part of Chicago. You know, I'm not directly involved with that, obviously. What I've just heard from the news is that work on that is halted at the moment because of federal funding that was cut recently, and as part of all of the budget cuts coming from the federal government. So it's on hold. That's the best I know just from reading the news.
Okay, when the DNR sprays for weeds, does that impact the fish population? Tom from Everett wants to know. You guys don't spray for weeds.
Yeah, so in Michigan, the DNR is not mandated or staffed to handle aquatic nuisance plants, and I'm assuming that's what they're talking about. So that would be things like Eurasian milfoil in inland lakes. In Michigan, it's a privatized system in which the Lake Association folks hire a contractor to come in and do that work for them. Permitting is done through our sister agency, EGLE, Department of Environment, Great Lakes and Energy. We do provide fisheries-based comments, and yes, I will say that it done incorrectly, excessive plant, aquatic nuisance chemical treatments can affect fish populations. In many lakes, you need a healthy aquatic plant population to host healthy fish populations like bluegill, sunfish, perch, walleye, pike, bass. So
Yeah, a swimming pool type bowl isn't going to do that.
Nope.
Okay, is there a limit to the number of rocks you can take from Great Lakes shorelines? Chris from Ludington wants to know.
So again, it's going to have to be public land that you're taking this from, and again, remember the shoreline. Again, the landowner owns to the upper or the ordinary high water mark, but Michigan law allows you to take 25 pounds of aggregate weight of stones for the entire year. So whether it be one big stone or a multitude of small ones, you can collect up to 25 pounds.
Okay.
And some might be just too large and for you to take home if it's a 30-pounder.
At this point, are the bears out of the dens? Folks from East Jordan are kind of...
We have started to receive some complaints at our customer service centers up north.
Yeah, anytime now, right? Get those bird feeders taken in. Yeah, we had neighbors that wanted to know why their bird feeder was all beat up. Well, because we live pretty close to the city. Well, when you live pretty close to the city in Cadillac, you're going to get bears. So, okay, that was from East Jordan. and lack of regulation summaries for fur trappers this year for St. Helen. Did they not have to? Did they do something different, fur trappers?
We've had the same ceiling requirements that we've had in past years, so I guess I don't understand that
Yeah,
question.
I'm not sure if I'm following that one either. I'm sorry.
This is a good one. From Mount Pleasant. Does anybody have a foolproof venison steak recipe? Yes, I do. Take good care of it once you shoot it. Take good care of it and season it and do it quick. And don't decide you're going to cook it till it becomes shoe leather. So, anyway, we've got we're just about out of time here. And do you think those from Kingsley? I want to know if just to continue to allow certain centerfire rifles during the muzzleloading season.
There's no proposed change for that right now. So that as it stands right now, barring an amendment from the commission, that would get introduced and passed. The muzzleloader season would still be any legal firearms going into this year.
And this is, well, Chad, do you ever think, quick answer on this, that there'll ever be a moose hunt?
Quick answer is I don't know.
That's a fair answer.
Yeah.
Better to say that than.
We've got this research project going on now, which I'm really excited for. That'll give us a lot more life history information for moose. We'll see where it goes from there.
It's been something to think about for a long time.
Sure has.
Yeah. Anyway, but this actually, the question came in from Otisville. Any last question? Can I put a barbed wire fence across the stream on public property? On private property?
You can't do anything that would inhibit the navigation of a navigable river. So short answer, no.
Hey, looks like we're going to have to wrap it up. Thank you. Thank you so much for calling in all your questions and for watching another edition of Ask the DNR. And I guess we will be back. I'm assuming Mark will pick a date in early October, and we will be back here, right here on WCMU, one of the greatest channels, but I'm a little bit biased, that certainly that I've ever worked for. Thank you again for calling in tonight and watching. We appreciate it.